Hi there, Aquarius. Thanks for joining me again. It's October 2014. I'm Dadhichi, and I know I can safely share this concept with you because you're such progressively minded people anyhow. I tend to be at variance with some of the more traditional astrologers. I think you like that, which is why when we look at what's happening in the first week of the month, if not for the whole of the month, I see this ninth sector of your horoscope, which is activated by Venus, the Sun, and the karmic planet, the North Node, as not strictly being all about higher education, law, spirituality in that sense. Yeah, to me, and I think you'll agree, the highest form of learning is experience. So I do tend to take this upper part of the horoscope and what's happening to you now as being very significant in terms of the sort of learning that's going on. What you may be doing the same sort of things, but this is a period in your life where I think you're sort of seeing things you never saw before. That's because your higher mind is being activated at this time. Again, the traditional view of this ninth sector is long journeys, journeys outside your country. But allow me the astrological license. I'm going to step outside that and say that these journeys for you at the moment may not be outside the country as such, but outside of your normal scope of what you inhabit in terms of your consciousness, in terms of your awareness. It's almost like your senses are being sparked. And I'm just wondering how you're dealing with that. I think it's important that you think about that because this ninth sector up here, where all of this stuff's happening, is directly opposite the third sector. So just as we have this higher mind, we have this sort of more rational day-to-day mind. And on the 8th of October, what's happening here is very significant, a total lunar eclipse. Now, how are you going to process all of this new understanding you're getting? The lunar eclipse is going to shut off. That's what an eclipse is. It's the cutting off of the light of the moon, which has to do with one's mind and one's emotions. When that happens, all of this energy is sucked in almost like a Hoover-matic vacuum cleaner. All this higher energy is being sucked into this. It's like this infinite sort of abstract knowledge that we're seeing being sparked in your life at this time, being sucked into this rational mind. And if you're not careful, it's almost like a 7-volt fuse being charged with 240 volts. It can blow, especially because your ruling planet Uranus is there, which excites the whole process. So I think you've got to be very, very careful leading up to this eclipse. We also see some right angles to Pluto, which can intensify that energy. So what I'd be recommending there is that you need to, just as you're looking outside your normal scope of learning, you need to look outside your normal scope of how you process and how you accept and how you deal with the stresses of your life at this time. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm not losing you. Fortunately, we have transcripts of this at my site, astrology.com.au. You might want to read what I'm saying here so you can absorb this a little more readily. In short, what I'm saying is that there's all this information, all this knowledge, it's going to be sucked in during this eclipse, and that could sort of blow your mind. Now, if you're a progressive sort of spiritualist, someone who's into the meditation, you might like it that your mind is blown. You might like to blow the gasket and see what's on the other side. I'll see you on the other side in the park there. Use this as an experimental stage, but for the most part, and for most of you, I think you need to just work on your breathing, do a little bit of yoga. You need to prepare your body for this. Your nervous system has to be prepared for what's coming over the next few months. So do utilize some of the more traditional forms of yoga. I think that's an excellent form of aligning the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, you know, taking that breath in so that you've got the energy circulating, all of the toxins, not just physical toxins, but the mental and habitual conceptual toxins, the worst ones that sort of get lodged in our awareness. You need to clear that so that you can really utilize the information that's coming to you. This is a very, very big transition for you. We see on the 23rd of October, the 24th of October, some very important transits with the Sun and Venus moving into the 10th sector, which is your career sector, and then that partial solar eclipse taking place there. So I've got the feeling that a lot of this information that you're going to have to process can find application in your work. So it's a matter of how progressive can you be, but how can you package that? You know, often even in advertising, as with the birthday gifts you buy people, you can buy a small gift, but if you package it properly, that's what's going to make the big impact. And that's the sort of thing I'm seeing here for you in terms of these transits towards the last week of the month. The very last transit there we see is of your career planet Mars moving into the 12th house of Capricorn. That can bring with it a low-key period. It can bring with it a period where you don't feel as effectual. Maybe some of you are going to blow your gasket. You're going to maybe need to go and park your car in the repairers for the time being to, you know, make sure that the gasket and all that stuff is working, if I could use that analogy. So if you pace yourself, this is going to be an excellent transit. A lot of new insights are going to come through with that, and you're going to be able to direct that really, really well into your career and your professional activities. Well, I don't normally know where I'm going to go with the readings, but that, I've got to say, looking back at that, that was quite an interesting one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for more. And I'd love your company here. Every month, same time, same channel. I'm Dadhichi. In the meantime, don't forget, visit astrology.com.au, as I said earlier, and you get loads more information to maybe help you extrapolate and expand on what we've talked about today. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.